What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome, EC Radio. We're live on all Disruption Network social media platforms. If you could do us a favor and click that share button, it would be greatly appreciated. Shout out to the sponsors, EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his staff at 315-335-0516. They'll pretty much move anything, anywhere, anytime, and they give you free boxes. Not only do they give you free boxes, but they pack them for you and bring them wherever they need to go. It's a great, awesome service. Tell them Uncle Z sent you. EJAmoving.com. Shout out to Joey's at 307. Joey's brought it this weekend. Let me tell you, for the Uncle Louie Variety Show at the Stanley Theater this past weekend, he cooked up a meal that was like, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to have dreams about the food that Joey's cooked up this weekend. If you want a good seafood meal, if you want a revolving dinner menu, if you need some catering, call them, 315-864-3527. Reserve a table because it's the only way you're going to get in. They're not going to take any walk-ins because they're packed. They are absolutely packed. So get a reservations, 315eats.com. You can find them online. Also, shout out to Utica Coffee, my attorney Dave Longaretta, Saranac, our good friends at Saranac. Shout out. Everybody needs a Damon Call in their life. I feel that everybody, right?
The world would be a better place
if we all had a Damon Call in our life. Right.
Absolutely.
The guy comes by and he just packs my refrigerator full of UC and seltzers, and he's just a beautiful human being. Damon Call, I'm going publicly.
What's his number?
Love you. I love you. Also, shout out to Billy, the liquor guy. He's got a book out there called Under Too Long. It's a book about the good guys infiltrating the bad guys. You can find it on Amazon or wherever you get your books. Check out that book. It's really good. He was an FTA agent that popped biker gangs and Al-Qaeda and untaxed cigarettes and untaxed liquor and just bombs. And just, I mean, it's a crazy, crazy story. Find it on Amazon or wherever you get your books. Also, shout out to Ballsy, ballwash.com. Use promo code members only for 15% discount. Stacey, I feel like you need some ball wash in your life.
I was really interested in it when I saw you shamelessly promote it. I mean, if it didn't work, you wouldn't be touting it so much.
It's changed my life. It really has. It's changed my life.
Is it tingly? Does it feel?
Well, there's different products, right?
Yeah.
There's the Sack spray, which is kind of like a deodorant spray that you would throw under the aerosol. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. What I'm obsessed with is the nut rub. I love the nut rub because it's the balm. You get it's the anti-chafe. You don't get the itch or the sweats down below. You throw a couple swoops and a couple dupes underneath your guy, and then let me tell you, I got the best smelling dick in all of Utica. I do. It's a fact.
So you can find it.
If you can find it, right? You got to.
Do they make hair remover?
You get one of those manscapers, right? But the thing is, you get the ball wash because the ball wash is for the shower. And it's a charcoal thing, and you get it in there, you rub it around, and then you put the nut rub on after the shower, and it's like a whole new dick.
Holy smokes.
Welcome to the show, Nash.
Thanks for having me. I didn't know I needed some of these
Nash
products.
is so polite and nice, and we're here talking filth.
Yeah, he's never got around you and I together.
That's probably true.
This is the truth, man. He was so polite. He knocked on the door when he came in. Nobody knocks.
I don't want to scare anybody.
He almost got beat up the last time he came in.
Salt City Waltz is going on this weekend at Lago Casino. Is it resort and casino or just the casino?
I think they call it resort and casino, and it is. I mean, they have this beautiful hotel. I mean, they don't have a million rooms, so it's kind of a little exclusive, right? Because you can't always stay there, and they have a spa and a lot of good things going on there. So
nice. And
yeah, maybe I'll take a sampling of.
The nut rub?
Yeah, if you nut rub with me, so I'll drop it off. See how they like it.
You can use it in the spa.
Yeah.
Use my promo code so I get the I get the commission.
Yes.
You got to get your beak wet on that.
But it's Salt City Waltz going on this weekend, Saturday night at Lago Casino. It's a recreation of the band's last waltz, and Stacy's been putting this show on for how many years is this now?
I think this is 7, and it's funny because when you say Salt City Waltz, and a lot of people automatically do think that or assume that it's a recreation.
It is, though.
It is and it isn't. I mean, to me, it's more of, I think I label it as a celebration of the music of the band, which it is because so much music and so many of my favorite songs weren't in that film or maybe at the concert. And we initially did it like the film version, film order when we did this show, and then added some other stuff. We had to grow the show. So you can never change the music because it's all about the band. But there's only so much music there because there is no band any longer, and they only release so much. So we throw in like some great things like, Nash and the boys do a couple Levon songs, and then we have the core band is Los Blancos, where they do, the straight, like a lot of the stuff from the film or the film version. They're a little bit shorter. It's a little more faster paced than like doing the whole album thing. And then, listen, it's still a 3.5 hour show, so it's good that the bar's in the same room, But we have an ensemble band too with Gary Frenay and a bunch of all stars, Donna Colton and Chris Eves from Floodwood, and a variety of folks, and they do a whole bunch of music that maybe wasn't in the movie or on the album. You'll hear stuff like Atlantic City and Acadian Driftwood and some of those other tunes, and they do it beautifully. They have Liz Fiddle and a whole bunch of other people jamming in, and it's real cool. And we got some really great players, and it's really the best of the best. And I love the band, so the show is my favorite thing to do. I do a lot of stuff, and I've been around a bit and I met a lot of people, but this is hands down always my favorite thing to do.
What was the brainchild on that? Like one day you woke up and decided you want to do this?
Over the years we kind of talked about it and I thought about it, and then it was actually Dan Masternardi who from the Westcott Theater and Creative Concerts who said, because the kid is always throwing out some idea, and like he's one of those guys that'll always like spitball or throw things at the wall, and most of the time you go, "Oh, shut the fuck up," or "You're not," that's stupid, or yeah, you don't pay attention.
Get away from me.
But I'll tell you, like if he throws, and the thing is, he's so fast. That's like how Malfitano is too. They're just always like they're just going,
constantly going.
So like you hear sometimes you don't hear all of it, or you're not paying attention to it, but then sometimes things just stick, And I go, we really should do that. He goes, let's do it at the theater. And so that was, I'm like, all right, fine, hell, I'm going to do it. And I called and got everybody on board, and it didn't really take much arm twisting to do it. Obviously Los Blancos is the first call when we did the first, but when we did the first edition of this show, we were supposed to do it at the Westcott Theater. And this is why Dan to this day is still my partner in the show. I think it was a couple of days before this big show, and their ceiling fell in.
Oh.
So we had to move the whole show, and we moved it to the Palace. Now, at that time, he had partners. He had Alex and Sam as his partners in the theater, and they could have easily just walked away and said, oh, well, we're not, so much for that. But we'd already put so much work into it, and everybody had rehearsed, and him and Sam, they agreed to just, we're still going to do the show, and we're still going to partner it. And, whatever happens, happens. If we end up losing money, then we all lose. If we win, we all win. But, they took the risk at somebody else's venue where they had nothing to gain, to do the show. So, we've been partners ever since in this show. Now, things have changed a bit. I do all the work.
Of course. And he still comes up with all the ideas.
Yeah, but you know what? If it didn't win, there's no doubt in my mind that the kid would write the check. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's just how it is. And in knock wood, we haven't really lost anything on this show ever. I think from a promoter standpoint, Dan's a little bit more of a promoter, an actual promoter certainly than I am. So whenever the show makes money, I just keep putting more and more money into the show, But then you get there and the show is so good, like nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter if I put all of the money or lose $1,000 because we put everything into the show. It just makes the show so much better. And that's what you have to do every single time that you do a show, especially when you're doing the same show. You have to figure out a way to change it, because like I said, you can't change the music, so we can add songs here and there. We can add other people. We can switch the order. This year is really mixed up. We've done a lot. with changing the song order. It's going to be 3 sets instead of, like one long show. There's, we're breaking up the Los Blancos part. There's a lot of little surprises that are happening. I did merch this year.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great hoodie.
And it's going to be a really good time. Ultimately, that's what it is. It's like the best party of the year, and all the fun people are there, and it's the band is the backdrop for it, and the music of the band is the soundtrack for it, and it's I can't think of a better time. Yeah. And the casino's great. I mean, there's multiple bars, and nobody has to drive if they don't want to. You can stay there, or I think some of the local hotels too around there, like because Del Lago is small and it is high end, I think like all the local chains, like there's like a Hampton and Holiday Inn Express, all in like Geneva, Seneca Falls area, Waterloo. They, I believe, shuttle a lot of them, so it's not a bad gig. It'll be a good time.
Shout out Jason Klug because he's killing it at Del Lago. Stacy, how do you manage to assemble the Avengers of all the Syracuse musicians to come together and just put together this awesome performance each and every year? Well, obviously you didn't do it last year because of COVID. When was the last one? 2019?
It's usually, I started out with this doing it every year, and I think we did 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I just can't do it every year. I wasn't even going to do another one. And then like it was like the demand of we got to have the show, and the show. It just makes everybody feel so good. Last year we showed the taping of, the 2018 show. We showed it, over Thanksgiving. People loved it, and
that's right.
So yeah, it's been like biannual pretty much. And every year I'm going, I don't know if I'll do it again.
You do say that.
I do, but it's like people love the show, and we'll see. Like maybe we're gonna build something with Del Lago, the place. This show's been at the Palace Theater since it started. It's just too small, and they made their stage bigger, which cuts some of that room down front, for dancing. Yeah, they extend the stage. At the time when I started planning this, they had an unfortunate accident there where like part of the sidewall fell down outside, due to old roof issues and stuff. And I think they've still been doing events there, and everything's fine and moving along. They're trying to raise the money to fix it, but. At that point, I didn't know if the place was going to be open, and I think they have a show the same night too. So, they're doing their thing, but I decided to move it. Being COVID too, I didn't want everybody jammed in pantyhose 2 sizes small, when you're jammed. So I didn't want to do it. I just figured people would feel more comfortable being able to move around, a little more. And that's what happens here. People like to move around, socialize, go to the bar. There's, plenty of, bathroom facilities and lots of bar space, and, you can visit or you can sit where you want. It's a GA show, it's not reserved. So it'll be awesome. I'm trying to really get the same vibe, in a much bigger room. I had no misconceptions about, being able to sell out a room the size. I mean, it's more than twice the size of the Palace,
right.
But if we could get close to what we've done there, be totally happy. And I mean, downstairs alone, you can put over 1,000 people there.
What was capacity at the?
It's only 700.
The Palace is only 700?
Yeah. It was. Mm-hmm. Now it's probably more
less.
like 400 or 500, I would think. I don't know. I haven't been in there in a bit, but it's just not, it didn't feel right, with COVID to jam people in or ask them to.
Yeah.
And I figure everybody, if I lose anybody because I've moved it, I might have lost others by trying to cram everybody into a small,
I have
tight
folks
space.
Coming from Rochester. They're coming from the other way now. Because
well, that's the other thing. We're in this right between market.
Yep.
We're able to advertise and get the draw from Rochester. So,
yep.
So I'm excited about getting some new people in, because you know what? If we get 100 people from Rochester that we didn't get before, they're all coming back next time, and they're all bringing their friends, because you can't just come to this show one time and go, I'll never go see that again.
Party.
That sucked.
God.
That was absolutely no fun.
What's the lineup that you have? The lineup of musicians this year.
It's funny. I should have brought my notes because Colin Aberdeen and I did Bridge Street this morning, and they asked him that question, and he was like,
"My band."
Over two.
Okay, so I'm like in the back of my head, I'm looking at my notes. So obviously we have Los Blancos as the core band. Joining them is Scott Ebner on piano and Bill Barry on the organ. And Bill's, a longtime Syracuse musician. I think it was Sharp Dressed Penguins. He plays with Stroke. He plays with everybody. Kid Roscoe, which is like his Americana band, with Scott Ebner. Mark Westers from the Barn Dogs also plays in that core band with them. And then the ensemble is a crazy lineup. It's Gary Frenay, Kathy LaManna on drums, Chris Eves. Gary sings and plays bass. You got Liz Friedel. You got, who else is in the ensemble? Bruce Giroux plays the accordion this year. We have Brendan Gosson doing a few numbers. We have Ronnie Lee singing a really special number with Jonah Smith on piano during
Amazing.
that.
Freaking legend right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so many people in this show. And, obviously the Old Main, George Rossi,
Nice.
He's another lunatic that sat in the chair here. And
Love George.
Yeah.
Man, so many people.
Do you have
over 40? There's over 40.
Is Tim Herron playing Neil Diamond
Tim
this year?
Is not. Tim
what?
is not.
We
Tim,
typecast him.
I know. Tim, you know who's doing that? Bill Ali. It was funny because it was always so hard to get somebody to do that. Nobody ever wanted to do that song. And when I first started doing this show, like Bill Ali would call me over here going, I really want to do that song. And he does it great. I think he did it on TK this morning. He gives it alley, when he does it. So he's a great person for it. Tim served his time. He did it. He loved it at first. It was great.
He was typecast.
Now we're looking for other things for Tim to do. But this year, I think Tim's got his boy that night, and it's 21 and over. We couldn't, even if we dressed him up like a gangster. Yeah, we could never pass a little guy off as legal. So Tim's not in the show this year, but.
Also, another guy that's joining the lineup too, who's chiming in on our Facebook, is John Mcconnell.
Oh, John's great.
Yeah.
John's done. It was funny because the first year he did it, he does "Helpless" from Neil Young, and the first year he's like, "Is it okay? Like if I make it my own kind of thing?" And it's like, yeah, like do it your style. But when I hear John McConnell do it, all I hear is I still hear Neil Young.
He does
you know
it
what I mean?
so well.
I know. So it's not it's not like any kind of bizarre version, but it's definitely John McConnell. But it's really good. And when you deliver a song that well, I mean, for Christ's sakes, I got Nash here again because they did it so well. There's their number that we're doing that again and giving them another one. And John McConnell is just kind of owned "Helpless," and when you hear it, you just are like, who's going to do it? Now, we've deviated from that before. We've had other people step in and do these numbers, and then we've gone back to them. There's a couple things that we're not doing, this year. And yeah, I mean, there's always little changes, but it's hard because people do everything so well, and then you want to try to include more people.
Yeah.
And there's just sometimes where you're like, but they did it so good. How do you do it? So I have to add more numbers. Or Gary, God bless him, is taking on the task of doing this ensemble thing, and they're always really welcome. They also are a very core kind of group, but then they'll bring in whoever I throw at them. We got this young guy named Steve Callie, who's like a country kid.
Yeah.
And I brought him in and asked him to do a tune. And I mean, I don't know how old he is, but I mean, I'm old enough to be his mom. I know that, and I'm sure he's not familiar with the band at all, and I always tell people, I've had people do that. He really wasn't. Like he's doing Atlantic City. He's singing the lead on it. But and to go to Gary, somebody who's got the chops that Gary has, and all those people, because when they do that particular song, and their harmonies are really so good, to ask them to step back and let this kid sing the lead. and I told Gary, I'm like, see what he's got. If he's got the stuff, I want him to sing the lead if he can, And they loved him. They're like, where the hell did you find this kid? And
I've heard him sing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find the kid. He's of his own. But my buddy Chad Mack's been playing with him, and I've seen him, and he's very, very good. And he'll do great. But putting somebody like that who hasn't ever worked in that kind of environment with those types of people who are, I mean, Gary's charting the songs. He's giving everybody keys and how they should, do things and helping them. And that's going to be a really great, experience, immeasurable experience for somebody like Steven to work with people that are going to lift him up and bring him along, as opposed to jumping on and hanging on and seeing where he can, you know what I mean?
Right, he's playing with the best of the best.
Yeah, they're going to teach him something that's valuable, and he's going to come out of it a better musician, so. Yeah.
So if John McConnell is doing the Neil Young, so does he come in with the cocaine typewriter jaw too, like he did in the last Waltz? I mean, how fucked up was Neil Young in the last Waltz?
Eating invisible sandwiches?
Oh my God. He had the typewriter jaw. I was like, man, how much blow did you do before you got on stage?
Doing the most accurate version of the last Waltz.
He was so jammed up. He was. But back to Gary, though. Gary's amazing. And you turned me on to him when I was doing the Syracuse Nationals this past summer. Never heard those guys before. Was it the Fab Cats?
Oh yeah, they did. They do the
Beatles
the
singing
Beatles or British Invasion type music. But Gary and Artie have been singing together for, 40 years. I mean, they're amazing. Their harmonies are so good, and then the rest of the guys, Novak, and they're great. And I remember years ago when Dave Resnick was booking them, it was probably like the Neverly Brothers is their other group that they're, there's different people. It's always
Neverly Brothers.
Yeah, it's always Gary and Artie. But with the Fab Cats, I think you have Novak and I forget who the other guy is, and then the Neverly Brothers, Kathleen Lamanna, I think is in that, and
I feel like I need to take notes.
they like those guys.
I want to know these people.
I do. So like the first 2018 when I was kind of in a similar position to we were just talking about Steven and I did.
It's got to be
notes.
Intimidating, right? I don't know. As a musician, they're just people to me.
Well, yeah. Like, so very new to that type of show I was, and the Old Main was at that time. And, like, I really loved the tune. I just kind of like...
I didn't tell you try not to fuck it up or anything before you went on. Did I? I probably did.
You might have.
I probably did.
Give him the zapper.
I tried to make sure...
But she told me about this song, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I love this song. It's kind of haunting, and thank God I can sing it. And then she's like, yeah, we're opening the show with it. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't think about it because I put it out of my mind. And then during the rehearsal for it, I realized I'm going to be standing in front of like a sold-out theater that really, really cares about how this song is done. I'm like, probably shouldn't mess it up. But
you didn't. You didn't.
No,
you absolutely didn't.
Oh, happy.
Is this your second South City Waltz that you're playing?
It is.
Is this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to be taking more notes about like.
Somebody told me. I think it was Mike Ryan. Michael P. Ryan years ago. He did Dixie one year, and I'm like. He gets down and I go to him and I'm like, how was it? He's like, it happens so fast. Like, you don't realize it. Like, you're up there and you're thinking like, you have all this time when you're rehearsing and stuff. And then you get up there and, the crowd they know all the music.
Yeah.
So they're all singing and they're like super enthusiastic. And then it's like, it's over.
I think,
if
you go back like on the 2018 recording, I was so like worried about the time slots. That we did the song, everything was great and not rushed. But then instead of like introducing the band or something like that, saying something cool, I just leaned in the microphone and say, thanks, and then just walked off stage. But I'll be a little cooler.
Well, there's a lot of thought that goes into it too. Like in particular, I think that's Wide River you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So they do this song that Levon did on his album, and it's called Wide River to Cross. And the reason that I did it, and I always like to start with something that's going to be, that I know is going to be really impressive and it's going to capture everybody's attention in the room. And sometimes, like if as a musician, you might, because I know the mind, I know how they think. I'm not a musician, but I get it. People are like, oh, okay, we're there to get everybody's attention so they can hurry up and get their beer. You know what I mean? To get back to their seat. Like we're flicking the lights on and off or something. But it's not with this show. What I'm trying to do is set the tone, a tone of reverence for the music that you're about to hear for the rest of the night. So That's what we're doing. When you're playing a song like that and you got like a full 2-minute piano intro or something, and that's giving people time to go, what is this? What's going on? Oh my gosh, what's happening? And then it gets so quiet, and then vocals start or whatever. We're just thinking about it, and I, as a producer, of the show, that's how I picture things. I'm not a musician, so I have to defer to them a lot, like the Blancos, which I'll admit here, but I'll never say again that I would ever defer to anybody, and
especially Blancos.
especially Blancos. But musically, I lean on them a lot. I'll ask those opinions. I'll, because I don't know. I know how things feel to me. Like from an emotional level, like what a song makes me feel like. But musically, I might not understand the complexity of going from this to this to this. I know how it feels. So that's how I lay it out. And thankfully, it seems to work. So I asked everybody for their opinion on changing up song orders this year, and it was like crickets. Nobody said nothing. So I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. And then like afterwards, somebody go, hey, I was thinking. I'm like, nah. Nah, we're done.
Stop thinking.
Yeah, it's neck down. So it's all planned out, but luckily everybody liked it, and so it's going to be a little bit different as far as the order goes that people are used to if they've seen the show, but it's probably the best lineup and order that we've had, and the way that it's going to flow from like a opening to a set to an interlude to the third set, kind of thing is going to be really special.
Nash, the old man is always so busy playing gigs and whatnot. It's got to be really cool for you to actually network with all these other musicians who you never get to see because you're playing so much.
Absolutely, and that's like the whole note-taking joke is meeting all these other Syracuse area musicians. And plus, like, I figured out a way to get in for free.
Singing for his supper.
Like, I'd be there if even if I wasn't asked to. But oh my goodness. Yeah, it's such a cast, and everybody. Well, there's like 2 different times I noticed, from being there just the 1 year. Everyone in their rehearsals, their main rehearsal, like on the day of, is very, like just hit the spots and let's do it. And then as soon as that's kind of done, and there's that little free fall area before the show starts, and way before the rehearsal, everyone is just so happy to be there. The atmosphere, like that warm and like cozy atmosphere, like that goes right along with like the feel good nature of the show that you're promoting, and it's like it's just it's not by accident. I mean, because you know me, like that's what we try to do anytime we're working. You know what I mean? We try to make people feel that way because it just makes your day go so much better. So it could be the Salt City Waltz, or it could be Tedeschi Trucks. You know what I mean? We're still going to try to feel that same way, when you're backstage. That's how you want things to feel, because it promotes everybody's creativity when they do not have to worry about anything else, And so that's what we do. And luckily, my entire crew that I've worked with, my pirate crew and I should say honorable pirates as well.
There's honorable pirates.
Yeah. So far, they haven't been. They haven't gotten. Yeah,
they didn't get their hoodie yet.
No, they haven't gotten. They haven't gotten patched in yet. They all work. They work at Del Lago. So I mean, Jason, who is the entertainment director there, and I started working together like 2000. Jason was like my production assistant, and and then we worked together, and he's gone on his own, and he's the entertainment director at Del Lago, and a lot of the crew that are there, Mike Richards, who's the house audio engineer, Anthony's the monitor and really technical director. Those guys, that I've known them for years and worked with them for years, and then all the guys that do stagehand work there are guys that I work with on the road. Those are my first first calls, and
the A string.
and Jay, yeah, it's definitely the A string, and Jay and I joke about it because we'll have to get together like at the beginning of the summer, and I'm like, all right, what do you got? And this is what I got. So, do you really need this guy? It's like we're playing poker, or we're trading. I'll give you 2 of these for 1 badger, or I'll give you this or that for,
human poker.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like
for
human
sure.
trafficking almost in a way.
But it works out, and now he's got the dragon out there and Chucky Love, so
this is like another language. What is happening?
they'll be
right
working.
now?
The dragon she refers to is known as Red. Yes, and yes,
Red. Okay.
that place is bound to burn. Just come flying.
Red's
in.
like the queen of backstage hospitality.
Yeah, for sure.
She's worked with me for years on every big show that I have, but she's really great at it. And now she's doing there's stuff out there for them and their artists. So it's it's good. It's good to like have one more play with with the home team. Everybody in one spot before the long winter comes. Winter is coming.
It is, Jon Snow. Yes, it is. And since we bring up Red, their anniversary was like yesterday or today, like the greatest wedding ever.
Have you ever been to a wedding and thought it was the greatest wedding ever? No, I've never done it until I went. I'm always like, why am I here? Oh my
Right,
God!
yeah, I can't wait to get out of here.
Get out of here.
Take
I've
my
never
envelope.
thought that.
I'm gonna eat the cake and get the hell out.
Yeah.
No.
Put my envelope in the well and get the fuck out of here. Best wedding ever.
Ever.
I've never seen anything like it. I never had so much fun at a wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, Brand New Sin played, for God's sakes.
Yeah, out of nowhere, nobody really knew. It was just kind of spare the moment type.
What
of
was
thing.
that place? It was at the farm.
MKJ Farm.
Yeah.
Oh.
MKJ.
Yeah.
You've played there a bunch.
Yep.
I know you have. Yeah,
So much
the place is just magical to begin with, but
really
then you
is,
put in every like local rock star in the building at once, and it's just wild.
Oh,
and then
fun.
they're exchanging vowels and then saying "I do." They both were like, "Fuck yeah."
That's the energy we want.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's the vowels they exchanged. There was no "I do." It was "Fuck yeah."
They had the rock and roll caterer that does all these big shows with us catered their wedding. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They came out when the introduction came to introduce them as husband and wife for the first time. It was like they were coming out to the ring WWE style. There was trussing and lights and smoke and just movers, and it was just like, now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. And they come walking out. It was awesome.
It was. The video, their like highlight video is like a music video. It's awesome. You see it and you're like, oh my God, I want to go to that wedding. That's a wedding. It's awesome.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. You brought her up, and I was just looking through my memories earlier, and I was like, oh, it's a matter of fact that was their anniversary.
Every year if they post on socials about their wedding anniversary or happy anniversaries, like 100 people will go, best wedding ever.
It really was. It really was.
It's the goat. It's the goat of weddings.
Well, if they ever renew their vows, please invite me.
Yeah, maybe every 10 years or something. You can't recreate that, though. There's no way you can recreate that one. I don't care how hard you try. It was just too magical from the beginning to the end. It was awesome. Nash, what's up with you guys in the Old Main? What's happening with you? Give us some updates, man.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, yeah, I had a whole like string of months. I finally got to go on like a little vacation. Went to Ireland.
You did make it to Ireland, finally.
Yes, I did it.
Finally.
Holy
we had a big party for you to go to Ireland, and you never went. Well, obviously, because of COVID. COVID hit like 3 days after their Nash Bash.
Yeah.
It was like 3 days after. Yeah. And that was an epic night, too, by the way.
That was amazing.
It was.
It's that old joke. It's like, I should quit the band like 3 times a year. No, oh my God, I felt so bad about that too, because people gave me like little bottles of whiskey, and I'm like, I can't.
Well, they stocked you up for COVID.
They really did. So I got to go to Ireland. I had a great time and just met a lot of people. I didn't do all of the touristy things, but I just tried to go play music and I don't know, just go like hang out. Did that, came home. I was home for about like a week, and then I got 2 weeks, and then I got COVID.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I was out.
Yeah.
Was that was that before there were vaccines available that you got sick?
No, this was like
were you vaccinated and you got sick?
Yeah. My trip ended like beginning of October this year.
So now you got to be like super antibodies, right? Because you had COVID and you're vaccinated.
Yep.
If you get the booster, maybe they're. No,
Then you'd be COVID man.
I will.
I'm C on your chest.
Yeah, right. I will definitely be ready for any like migraines I get from that booster. It was a 13-day long migraine, and it sucked. Got my taste back and smell back, but
everybody said they'll. I mean, there's been some, common things, but I feel like a lot of people have had different, effects. And
right.
Yeah.
the thing I've heard the most about is like how your people get like brain fog, and still have it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually, well, it's hard to say. 'cause
Listen,
I usually
don't
have
even
some of
talk to
that.
me about your brain fog.
I know. Yeah.
COVID got brain fog from you, Nash.
Yeah, there's definitely some inclement weather happening up here. But yeah, so that happened, and then I was we as soon as I was like safe and ready to go, we continued. Old Main continued some work on an EP that we're recording now. We set out to do like 3 EPs because we haven't released music in like 4 years.
It's been that long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Oh, yeah. So like we're working away on that, and then start. So this is like actually the Salt City Waltz is one of the first shows that we're gonna be having, like public shows we're gonna be having in a while. So like super excited to like kind of just like get back into the swing of things. Haven't been gigging as much lately, but just trying to work on the sound.
Did you get that 7 song recorded?
Yep.
All right, good.
It's coming.
I love that freaking
It's
song.
coming.
I
Yeah.
do. I love that song. It's my favorite song that you've written.
I appreciate that so much.
I love that song.
Yeah, we're calling in some heavy gunners for that song. It's gonna be really nice.
Oh, cool. When do we expect that out?
I'm not gonna say.
You're not gonna say? Okay.
Nope, because it's too early.
Are you gonna follow it up with like a release party or any of that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're really gonna take our time with this one.
Where was
And
it? Where was the Nash Bash? What was it?
That was at the
Polish
St.
thing.
Vladimir's.
It's kinda like
the
been near,
Ukrainian church. They make the pierogies. It's
It's
right
been
next
like
to-
your home away from home, right behind
Yeah.
the EC over there. That
No,
Munson.
no. It's Munson. It's in that.
Oh.
It's in that area. That's a great venue. It really
Yeah.
is. The first time I ever was there, and going into that place, you feel like you're in a barn in a way. It's all wooded and rustic when you get in there. And it's middle of downtown Utica on the square. But great spot. But that you guys practice there, right? Isn't that your
Yep.
like a rehearsal spot?
Yep, most of the time that's our like rehearsal space for like full band stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad, like the acoustics in the room are
It
really
is.
nice.
It's crazy. Great
you
stage.
said it's all wood though, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
wooded. Yeah, yeah. It's wooded.
It's wooded
and,
with
and
like
it's spaced
panel
out.
ceilings.
It's got like 300 capacity in there. You know, it's-
Stage. Yeah.
Great stage. It's an awesome vibe in there. It's perfect for them. It is a perfect venue. And you guys had that place stuffed for your last bash.
Yeah, we're very, very, very lucky to have that many people there that night. That was really cool.
Like, I mean, I could see more people doing things like that. I mean, we lost so many venues,
Right.
You know,
We
through-
need more of those.
through,
Yeah.
through COVID. I mean, people just haven't come back. I mean, some, not just here, but like iconic venues that are just
Right.
aren't opening back up. And I mean, the Nelson place is gone. You guys
heart.
used to like that place a lot.
Love that place. That's what I told. Like as soon as I saw that, I was just like, I texted Mitch. And
We
like,
should-
buy this.
We should send that guy tickets. He should come see you.
The Nelson Odeon?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the place?
Yeah.
Right? They
They're
shut down
good
too?
folks. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to play there. I did a few shows with Ruddy Well Band out of Cuse, and I never
No.
got the Old Main there,
Is
but
so Brendan Gosson, who will be playing a number with you, was he in that band? Or was
In
Ruddy?
Ruddy?
Yeah.
not that I know. of.
No.
Nope.
What about Mahoney Mike? That other guy? There's a bunch of people that are playing that I've never worked with before,
Yeah.
but I've been told to ask them because we needed like extra musicians on. We don't have John Cadley and Kathy Cadley this year, who are phenomenal, players, and she's such a great vocalist with the harmonies and her acoustic guitar, but they had another commitment, so they couldn't do it. So trying to replace all of the things that they do in the show, I mean, it's taken like 3 or 4 people to pick up the slack of the
Well,
things that they've done.
Brennan plays with this troupe of of people from out in the Rochester way, Buffalo area,
Mm-hmm.
and Folk Faces.
Yeah, I've seen that. That I know.
Yup.
Yeah, I checked that out. But I was thinking of before. He's been in other things though and played with other people, I think. So I don't know. I'll talk to him. Maybe I'll ask the guy himself. Maybe at some point.
Yeah,
I mean,
just go talk to him.
when I'm handing him a beer or a piece of pizza or something, we'll discuss. Discuss.
I'd start talking.
We got a bunch of people checking out Facebook, and we got to say what's up to a few people. I'll get to some of these comments. Tim Hardiman saying, love all these people. Shout out to Hardiman.
I heard he's not going to make it. He's
not.
Kids ruin your life sometimes. No, I think his kid's got a play or something. I heard somebody else out here too has a school play. So I wonder if they're, you know what I mean? I think it's a play.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. But he's like our biggest fan.
Yeah.
Him and like Tracy
He
and
did a dinner
Talgo
for you a couple years ago.
He did that dinner we did upstairs at the Palace. It was awesome.
Yeah. Is the place upstairs at the Palace that's no longer, you were telling me?
Well, I haven't been there, but I heard they were taking that out and turning it into like 3 different rental, I don't know, offices or apartments. It used to be apartments up there.
Oh, okay.
And that's a bummer because that was like the best part about the place.
Whole library area. It was
my
super
gosh.
cool.
We had so many good little jams.
I mean, that's it's a tall order to try to replace to try to recreate that vibe that we had at the Palace because we had all this wonderful space, but we're gonna.
Thankfully, most of it's the people. I think
it is the people, but you gotta. That space was great upstairs, and you know what? We're gonna do it. If anybody can do it, I can do it with Red and Kayla. We'll be fine. But yeah. So we'll see.
Hardman saying fucking kids. Then he's also saying Nash's work and vocals on Wide River to Cross to open the show in 2019 was absolutely sublime.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
Thank you.
You're so nice. Shout out to Hardiman. We love you, Hardiman. Steve Winston checking in. What's up, buddy? Good to hear from you. We actually did the longer version of After the First Time. The movie version was too edited and just didn't feel right.
Yeah. Thanks for correcting me, Steve. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Shout out Mark Westers too. Mark's checking in. He's saying looking forward to playing. Thank you to Mark. Check out the Barn Dogs and all the bands that he's doing. I know he's doing a duo now too, right? Does he have a duo? I know he's at Copper City recently.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's still killing it.
Mark's the biggest whore in Syracuse.
Now, is it whores or is he a slut? Whores do it for money.
Yeah, he's a whore.
Sluts do it for fun.
Yeah, he's a whore.
I'm learning so much.
See? Take notes.
Taking notes.
Matthew Romano, Del Lago's room will look great with this production. It will, too.
It will.
Good. Are you doing any kind of chandelier?
Oh, shout out to Max.
Is he coming back?
Max.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, Max Cohen family are supplying us with the guest of honor, which is I think it's an 8-foot chandelier that we have this year, and then the 2 side ones. And I think Max was taking those out there today to drop them off.
Oh, wow.
And then it's like, okay, yeah, you guys bring that back. I'm like,
then you got to bring it back.
Yeah, but it'll happen.
He does amazing work, though.
Oh, he's great. I can't even believe it.
Steve Winston saying he'll take a double X hoodie. Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Shut up and take my money. Shout out Mark McGaldy and Scott Sterling checking in. Good to hear from you guys. The main monkey over there. Let's see. Colin Aberdeen of Los Blancos saw Rick Danko at the band at the Hotel Syracuse in the 1990s.
Wow.
Is any member of the band still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who?
Garth Hudson.
Is he? He's the only one left?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did you ever try to get on the horn with his people?
No, he's crazy.
Oh, is he?
He's older. He's I don't know. He's a different sort. I think he probably always was, but the last time I saw him was he came in as a guest spot because so Blackbird Presents has this Last Waltz production that's out and touring. Like, it didn't tour obviously last year, but it's Warren Haynes fronts it, Jamie Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And then they added Lucas Nelson the last time I saw it, and it was like a whole different thing because you had that high harmony, of Lucas and I've seen it's been 3 years. I've seen every year that they've done. The first year, our buddy Danny had it down at the Palace Theater, and I out of the blue, I called Dave Racine. I'm like, Dave, let's go on a road trip. I want to go see this. He's like, okay, I'll see you at 7:00. Okay, whatever. We jump in, we go to see it. It was amazing. And so they have like, it was like Don Was, and that cast of characters is like the backup band. And then you got Warren, Jamie Johnson, and a variety of people. They had the one we saw in Albany had Michael McDonald.
What?
Which was weird because you just hear his voice, right? And it was so weird, but it was cool. And then they have Steady Rollin' Bob Margolin, who played with Muddy, Muddy Waters, and then I forget who else. A great horn section, but not our horns. If we use Levon Helms studio horns, and those are like all cats that played, down at the barn for years and toured with Levon's family band and played on Levon's records. And those, when I did this show, like that's all I wanted to do was hire that horn section. You know what I mean? I mean, they're probably the highest paid horn section that anybody would throw money at, but it just brings so much to the show to have them, And I think the second time, I went to Chicago to see that show too. I think it might have been the same year. I took a train to Chicago overnight, which was really fun. Did you know there's hookers on trains? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. They were working the train, man. I was like, holy crap.
They like the smell of nut rub, too.
You're
Well,
like,
you gotta have
oh
the
yeah,
size.
I heard there was hookers on the train. He's like, so I went to Chicago. I met my son. He was in maybe Minneapolis at that time. He came down. And then 2019, I went to Nashville to Bridgestone Arena. They did it there. That's when they had Lucas Nelson on the tour. And they had, because it was Nashville, they had Vince Gill singing. Robbie Robertson was there. They had, Nathaniel Rateliff did Caravan. Dude,
Holy
the house came down for that. Like, and he was like doing the shuffle, man, and he's like doing those Van Morrison kicks. It was like the coolest thing I ever saw. We were like, what the hell? So yeah, their show is great, but it was the first time I'd seen these shows all over the country. People have done them, and none of them compare. Even when they had these big names on it to what we're doing, musically our show was so good and so strong, and everybody's, believes it, right? This one's good. Like, I'll always go see that show. I heard through the grapevine that there's a hold for that show maybe in February in Syracuse, so I'm hoping it comes through.
Wow, that's cool. You always do it around Thanksgiving too, though.
I try to. I couldn't get that weekend at Lago. I believe they have get the let out for 2 nights, so I didn't do that weekend. So we pushed it really to do it this soon, to get it done. But listen, they've all done the show before. Everybody, gives it. They're all in terms of getting those things rehearsed, and this year there's been a little bit extra heavy lifting because we've added Bill Berry on organ. That's a big part, to learn all of those tunes that the band is playing, and then obviously the ensemble does a lot of heavy lifting as well. But they're, they get it done, and we've added a couple of new tunes that people had to work through. So it happens, and it's going to be great.
That, and you got to deal with everybody's schedule too.
Oh, it's crazy to try. Gary does a good job of figuring that out.
Oh, so you don't have to deal with schedules?
No, not really. Yeah. I don't deal with the schedules because I wouldn't be so merciful about it. It's better. I wouldn't have anybody playing the show if I had to deal with that stuff. They'd all be quitting on me.
Let's see. Let's go to more. John McConnell saying, "Officer, I had to get into Neil Young's character, occupational hazard." With the typewriter, John. What did you call it?
Eating invisible sandwiches.
Eating invisible sandwiches. Hey, Dudley. What's up, Dudley? Dudley's saying, kicked my wedding's ass. Right in Chucky's.
Oh, it did, yeah.
Yeah, you had a fun wedding too, though, bro. Bob Kane checking in. Salt City Waltz rules. Every year is magical. So true. Mike Coley, shout out to 315music.com. Huge supporter. He's saying that dinner was fantastic, but he's talking about the one that Hardiman did a couple years ago. Mark Wester's saying, thanks for that. I call it working musicians. We call it being whores. Bob Kane's saying Robbie Robertson's still alive.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. I forget about Robbie Robinson. People are going to laugh about that.
Isn't he living in Canada or something?
No,
is he Canadian?
He's Canadian.
They're all Canadian, aren't they?
It's funny because there's always been this thing with Robbie, and the band fans, right? A lot of people are like you're either on like Team Levon or you're on Team Robbie kind of thing. And I never really drew the line there. Robbie Robertson has been like so much of his own entity. Like I think he forgets where he came from sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been Scorsese's boy since The Last Waltz. You know, he scores all of his films. He's done quite well for himself, and you know the others didn't. You know, and I can't blame Robbie for that though. You know what I mean?
Worked with Robbie?
No. Never.
Would that be what? Would you fangirl?
No, not at all. I'm not.
It's not like Jack White.
No, God, no, no. But you know, we worked a lot with like Levon and the Family Band and stuff. And I mean, I love that guy. I was devastated when he died. I mean, it was merciful. The poor guy suffered for so long, you know. But you know, it's a huge loss to you know American music. And I mean, he was still doing it. But you know, the thing is, there's. You know, it's none of my business, you know, how they handled their business or what their situations were financially. But I think that had it been equal and had Levon Helm gotten that share of all of this money that they've always argued about over the years that people have speculated about, he would have given it all away anyway. You know, he was like communal and he was, you know, sharing and, you know, it still would have been, you know, a bit of a struggle at times, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, Robbie's a businessman and a half. It seems, you know, for sure. He's got all kinds of things going on, and the movie score business has been great to him, you know, over the years. I can't believe I said Robbie Robertson was dead.
Matt Romano wants to know: is Clark Gayton of the E Street Band, is he there this year?
He is.
Is he?
Yeah, yeah. Because we usually had the three horns, and then we used Melissa Gardner on trombone. Nice. And they really liked her. The boys in the horn section liked her a lot, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll just use Melissa," you know. But Clark is coming this year because Melissa was just had a baby. Oh, cool. Congratulations,
Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is saying the first time he heard the horns hit for the open "Don't Do It" with us at rehearsals, I think I peed myself a little.
And then, well, one year we had the great, you know, Howard Johnson there too on tuba, who's since passed away. But I remember asking Mark Tifo, the drummer, because he's, you know, and this has always been a big thing with the band because I put him side stage, like Levon would play off to the side, and they hate it because they can't see each other, and you know he's way over here, so you know we're moving it around. We're moving him. He's in the middle. so I remember asking Tifo, I'm like, do you want a drum shield or something? You want something behind you? He's like, no way, because he had them horns like right behind him, you know. So
he wanted to feel it.
Yeah, and Bob Kane actually played Dixie one year, and he played Dixie and he sang it, and he was in front of him too, and he was like, you know, you could tell it's like something.
Nice.
For sure.
This is the first year you're doing merch?
Last show I did merch, but it was so packed in the lobby of the Palace that I don't think anybody knew it was there. All I did was like, and it was really cool, and I don't think people knew it, was that I did a poster, which was a screen printed nice poster. And then we did I had a whole bunch of things that we did like a silent auction for. And we had like this decorated Christmas tree with like all sorts of Salt City Waltz stuff on it. But I didn't ever do cloth. And the only reason that I really did these is because, well, I got a little something for the crew this year. You know what I mean?
Cool, good.
But I did decide to do some T-shirts and, you know, a couple little items. So
awesome.
There'll be some merch available. And another poster designed by Elliot Matisse. So it'll be good.
Excellent. So it's going down this Saturday, Del Lago Casino and Resort. What's that considered? Is that Waterloo?
Yeah, I think the address of the casino is actually Waterloo.
It is Waterloo. Yeah.
I mean, it's you know, it's 30 minutes down the thruway from Syracuse. It's really a pretty good drive. I think I'm gonna start posting something maybe like Friday with just suggestions for people, you know, like, listen, if you don't want to drive, get 3 of your friends and 4 of your friends and go together, take an Uber, you know, it's probably like $100 Uber to a casino. Do you know
get
what I mean?
Room.
Yeah. Well, you could get a room in town or somewhere else around, but I imagine Del Lago's probably sold out by now. They sell out their rooms every weekend. So
do they? Mm-hmm. Nice. And Jason's killing it. I know I mentioned that earlier, but the entertainment that he's bringing in is top notch.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff coming up there for sure.
Bumming I missed Steel Panther. You didn't go either, did you?
No.
You didn't go?
No.
Oh, I was so bummed
When
I
was
missed
that?
It was back in September. Yeah, it was the middle of September. It's my favorite band ever. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. But yeah, but he's doing a great job with the programming over there. Shout out, Jason. You're the man. Nash, what do you guys got coming up? You want to promote anything before we get out of here?
Yes, obviously very excited for this Saturday. And then there's that. We're going to be doing, the Old Main is going to be doing the 443 in Syracuse. We're going to be doing that on the 26th.
That's Julie's room, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, really excited to do that. And then the 27th, I'm going to be opening up for Daryl Ron at the KAC in Clinton.
Oh, cool.
And that's going to be a really fun show, too.
He's super talented.
He's, yeah, really talented.
Awesome. Are you still doing your other band, too?
All Poets and Heroes, yeah.
All Poets and Heroes?
Yep, we have, actually, I'm headed to rehearsal after this, out in Syracuse. We have some shows coming up in December.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Keep me posted, man.
Absolutely.
And keep me posted when you get the EPs out, too.
Will do.
We want to be all about that.
I come here to do your show. Everybody mad at me because I said Robbie Robertson was dead, and we called Mark Westers a whore. Nobody's listening, Mark. Nobody watches this.
Just my mom.
Yeah. Big Ange don't care.
No, she don't care. She thinks it's funny. She just laughs along. Oh, there's my son talking about his nuts again.
I love it. I was so glad that you gave her the. I got an apron for people that work for me, and one of them I gave one to him for his mom. It says, "I'll feed all you fuckers."
I love it.
was like,
loved it
oh,
too.
it's totally
awesome.
your mother.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So she's hitting the road really soon too, so she's gonna be cooking for everybody in the campground. So I'm sure she'll be rocking that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get it nice and dirty too, Angie. You know, if you're gonna wear
Put
that
some
apron,
sauce on there.
Put some sauce on it. Yeah, you gotta break that thing in, make it look mean. You know? If you guys want a great event to go check out, I'm telling you, it's definitely worth going out to Del Lago to see the Salt City Waltz going on this Saturday. How much are tickets?
Tickets are $30 right now in advance, and I believe, or $35 in advance, $40 at the door. Mm-hmm. You can get them at dellago.com/entertainment, and you just click Salt City Waltz. That's the only way to get them online, or walk up at the door and just pay the door price for them. But I think starting at 1:00, their box office is open on days of show.
Cool.
And all of the social media that I have
All the links.
control of, all the links are going to be there. So like Instagram, both Nashua.Rob and the Old Main Instagram. And then we'll be sharing a bunch more Facebook ticket links and promotional stuff throughout the week. So.
Awesome. The order today, people go check out the Salt City Waltz this Saturday. It starts. It's a great time. It is such a great show, and you definitely do not want to miss it. If you're a fan of the band, you are going to absolutely love this. Love it. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Good hang
Steve.
today.
Thank you.
It was good hang today.
Yeah.
Love it. Shout out to my sponsors, if I can get the list here. EJA Moving Services. Joey's at 307. I got to bring you to Joey's one of these days.
Is it the same Joey's? Different Joey's.
It's kind of the same, but it's not.
I got you.
Killing the game.
All right.
Killing it. We got to go one of these days. Big ups to Utica Coffee, my attorney Dave Longaretta, Saranac Brewery. Gotta love Saranac, right?
Is Dave the same guy that did the?
Yeah, remember we did the
We
drinking
got to
thing?
do that again.
You wanna do that again?
Oh, I want to do that again. That was so fun.
We got really drunk one time.
It was
here
me and
on
you
air. I remember
and Hardiman.
Was
no,
it?
or no.
Cool Joe made us the drinks.
Joe was making the drinks.
He's making the fancy drinks.
Who was
and
drinking with us?
it was a
watched
bunch.
that
I
one.
remember my cousin Raymond being
It was
here
hilarious.
too. And we took breathalyzers at the end. We drank for 2 hours straight and took breathalyzers. And then one of the breathalyzers didn't work. So, but we do got to do that.
I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going.
Yeah, let's do it. We got shit-faced. So shit-faced. That was a lot of fun. Dave's a good guy. Shout out to Billy the Liquor Guy. He's got a book out there called Under Too Long. Check it out. It's an amazing book. And, of course, my favorite sponsor. Now, they're all my favorite sponsors, but the one I'm really adamant about is Ballsy. Ball wash stock. And also, I got to send out some love and respect out to the Mo family.
Yeah, for sure.
For Chuck Garvey, man. We love you, Chuck, and we're thinking about you. And hopefully send you out some healing and recovery vibes really, really soon. And we're all thinking about you. So it's what a shame, man. Chuck's he's such a sweetheart, you know. Mm-hmm. And had a little stroke this weekend, so unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll be back and stronger than ever.
Yeah, hoping to hear some news.
Because they do call him Satan. He is Satan, you know. I don't know how he got the. How did he get the moniker of Satan?
I can't say.
You do know?
No.
Oh, you don't know.
I can't say.
I thought there was like a secret story
Yeah.
you didn't want to indulge
I wouldn't
in.
say anyway.
Oh, man, but we're thinking about you, Chuck. Much love to the whole Mo family. And, yeah, so go out, check out the Salt City Waltz this weekend, Saturday night, and I will see you again this weekend. Later.